Good afternoon and many thanks for joining us. You're watching Qtv Midday News coming to you live from our studios on Caraba Avenue, and I am Ansmane Sonyasi. Well, here are the main local business, international and sports news headlines. Gambia Scorpions provide another shock at AFCON as they dispose of Guinea and make it through to the quarterfinals. In the High Court, the application objecting to the proceedings filed by lawyers representing General Solbaji and others is dismissed. The Gambia has recently seen a significant increase in African Americans coming to live and settle here. We hear the story of one couple. In business news, we hear about a pioneering fitness, nutrition and care center catering for women. In international news, the president of Burkina Faso, Roch Kabore, has reportedly been detained by mutinying soldiers following a coup attempt on Sunday. And Usman Sonko's Yewi Askanwi coalition members took over major towns in Senegal on Sunday in mayoral and local representative elections, sending shockwaves through President Macky Sall's party. In other sports news, in the AFCON round of 16 on Sunday, Tunisia sent Nigeria home after their 1-0 win, and Burkina Faso also eliminated Gabon on penalties in their earlier game. But stay tuned as we bring you more on these and other stories. And we now take a look at the news in detail. At the ongoing AFCON, Gambia continues to defy the odds and has dispatched another higher-ranked team. This time it was the turn of Guinea to feel the Scorpions' sting as Gambia progressed to the quarter-finals. We'll bring you more details on that in our tonight's bulletin. Now, in the ongoing court hearing involving the state and former General Solbaji, High Court Judge Justice Zainab Jawara Alami has dismissed the preliminary objection raised by the General's lawyer, who argued that Baji and others in detention without charging them has no basis in law. Babu Karsi attended the court proceedings and he filed this report.
The military officer General Sol Baji, together with Major Landin Tamba and Warrant Officer Class 1 Musa Baji, have been held at Mile 2, the state central prison in the Gambia. They have not yet been charged with any offense. However, the state obtained a court order to detain them at Mile 2 pending the hearing and determination of the application seeking to keep them in detention for 90 days. The case came on last Monday for the first time before Justice Zainab Jawara Alami of the High Court. General Solbaji, as many known him, returned to the Gambia at the end of December from Equatorial Guinea, where he and others were with the former head of state Yaya Jammeh. The state showed that these three people should be kept in custody pending further investigation into their matter on the grounds that releasing them would potentially threaten state security. The state filed an application seeking a court order to keep Solbaji and the two others in detention for 90 days to permit and facilitate further investigation pending preferring formal charges. The application is supported by an affidavit sworn to by Inspector Jali M.I. Senghor of the Gambia Police Force. Senghor said these soldiers did not have the permission of the command of the Gambia Armed Forces to go on this journey and to remain for the duration of time they spent in Equatorial Guinea. He said the army at some time declared them as deserters. Senghor said Solbaji was the commander of the State Guard and de facto commanding officer of the hit squad, while the other two were members of the junglers. Releasing them into the public while investigations are ongoing will be counterproductive to the investigation and could pose a serious national security threat, Senghor stated in the affidavit in support. Lawyer Sirif Kumba Job, in his preliminary objection, said the application lacked a base in law. There is no legal basis for the application. There is no law to support the application, Lawyer Job said. Justice Jawara Alami, in her ruling on the preliminary objection, dismissed the preliminary objection by Lawyer S.K. Job but did not provide any reasons as to why she dismissed it, promising to incorporate it in the ruling. The ruling on the application will be delivered on the 4th of February 2022. Babu Karsi, Qtv News.
We look forward to the ruling. Now, the Gambia has recently seen a significant increase in African Americans coming to live and settle here. An estimated 50,000 African Americans have moved permanently to Africa, and Gambia was the chosen new home for many. Ricky and Cynthia Usumbura shared with us their story of moving with their children from Tennessee to the Gambia in 2015, where they have stayed ever since. Here's Annabelle Gay with the story.
Ricky and Cynthia Yusumbura started their life here over 6 years ago, making the big decision to leave the United States and settle down in the Gambia, a choice they say they have never looked back on. They changed their family name to Yusumbura once they moved with the intention to rid themselves of a name that represented enslavement. Shortly after their move, they began a YouTube channel called The Black Acres of the Gambia, where they shared their journey on building their life here, and since then, the channel has racked up over 50,000 subscribers.
My daughter that's still in America, she said, Mommy, since you're being here, you need to start, and tell everybody what's going on in your lives here.
Sharing the same name as their channel, they have also begun building a development in C4, where they have farmed an array of local crops that they plan to sell, encouraging the distribution and sale of locally grown produce over imported ones.
We were very fortunate to be able to buy a large plot of land here in the Gambia where we could grow our own food, grow what we eat, and eat what we grow. One of the things that we kept noticing was every time we buy a consumable or a good or something, it was imported. And so we said, wow, that's an opportunity right there to grow it in country and to add the value on and then distribute it to the population. So that would, again, create jobs. We don't just come in and look at profit. We're looking at disseminating the information and so we all can rise.
Alongside their agricultural pursuits, they are also passionate about promoting an eco-friendly and sustainable lifestyle for Gambians. On their development, they adopt several clean, low-impact ways of keeping the grounds running, some of which include harvesting solar energy as well as thorough composting methods.
As far as sustainability is concerned, we want to create an environment where it's zero waste.
As well as citing personal liberation as a reason for their move, the couple say providing opportunities to Gambians and contributing to the development of the country was an important factor in relocating. Several Gambians are employed on their development, including gardeners, contractors, and carpenters, all playing a part in the progression of Black Acres.
Helping our brothers and sisters on the continent made us realize that we had made the right decision coming here, doing what we do.
We can't do it by ourselves. Right. The only way to do it is get here and see what you want out in the Gambia, see what you can do to bring more to help the youth here. Right. It can be done. Right. I say come on home.
In 2019, Ghana initiated the Year of Return, where they granted citizenship to an initial 126 African Americans. The incentive was widely promoted by the government to support migration into the country, that would then in turn benefit the country's economy as well as strengthen the lost connection between African Americans and their African roots. The Gambia is yet to provide such an incentive, although the current Minister of Tourism has spoken glowingly of the Year of Return as something worth emulating. However, the government has not enacted any specific legislation in this regard. Until then, African Americans continue to make the move to Gambia, settling down and calling it home. Reporting for QTV, this is Annabelle Gay.
And from the report by Annabelle Gay there, we'll take a short commercial break, but when we return, we'll have a look at some business, international and sports news stories. Do stay tuned.
Looking for the fastest and easiest way to receive money transfers from abroad? Well, QMoney and RIA just made it happen. Now you can receive international money transfer from RIA directly into your QMoney account with no additional cost. Once you receive an SMS alert about your transfer, walk into any QMoney agent across the country to receive your payment for free or use the money immediately to buy credit, QPower and other QMoney services. It's fast, safe and convenient. For more info, call customer care on 133. QMoney, Sinu Calpe. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back from a short commercial break. Be reminded you're watching QTV Midday News. I am Ansmane Sonyasi and we're broadcasting live from our studios on Caraba Avenue. Now here's the latest business news. Fatima and Co organizes a grand opening to launch the Phenomenal Women Fitness, Nutrition and Care Center in Kotu. Fatusi Sanyang was there and Sina reports.
The center aims to provide women with a well-equipped gym for the first time in the Gambia, with facilities like a play area for kids, spa, kitchen and first-class lockers, rooms for every member, coupled with a clean and welcoming environment. Fatin Jai, the driving force and the woman behind the Phenomenal Woman Center, tells us more.
Phenomenal Woman is a woman-only fitness center, and what inspired me is the fact that my mother used to be diabetic, and ever since I was young, and she is always on medication and pills. And when I travel outside the country and I see women at her age that are doing so many things, and while she cannot do that, and I realize that all it takes is just to, 30 minutes workout, and also, eat healthy, and also take care of yourself. And that is what we are lacking in the Gambia. And that is one of the reasons why we created Phenomenal Woman.
It is often said, behind every hardworking and successful woman, there is a good and supportive man. Jean-Francois Normand, Fatin Jai's husband, explains how the success story began.
Honestly, we first envisioned to do this project in Dubai. And so Fatou and me got engaged 5 years ago in Dubai. And we had the idea to do something like this. And then we came back from a project 2 years ago, and COVID happened. And we pivoted, and we said, why not doing it here? And we think that this country and the women here of this country deserve a place like here.
Mrs. Leila Trabulsi, CEO of Malak Chemics and the owner of the space, commends the Phenomenal Woman and also advises other women to come up with more business ideas to empower themselves and contribute to nation building.
We were chatting about how women in hijab, or simply women who want to feel they're in a place where they can be completely safe, to wear their sports gear, to be completely worrying about cameras or other agendas, to actually have a place that's exclusively for us. So for today, I cannot believe that this has happened. It's been tough, COVID and everyone leaving and coming back, but we're finally here, Fatou.
Salou Tar, the president of the Gambia Bar Association, who gave the keynote speech, elaborates on how the gym can have an impact on women and urges women to support the center.
Fatou moved back to Gambia and decided to start a business. And I stumbled, as I have my morning coffee, I stumbled onto her and we started chatting. And I saw a woman who had vision, passion, and courage, and a lot of self-confidence.
According to Fatin Jai, proprietor of Phenomenal Women Center, frequent exercises is good for a person's well-being. However, it should be complemented with proper nutrition, a healthy diet. The center targets older women to encourage women to build up their confidence, exercise, and stay healthy. There is a space allocated for children to make sure they are taken good care of whilst their moms are exercising. For Qtv News, I am Fatou Sisanya.
And now on to some international news. The president of Burkina Faso, Roch Kabore, has reportedly been detained by mutinying soldiers following a coup attempt in the West African country on Sunday. Ali Cisse tells us more.
Some troops in the West African nation are reported to have demanded the sacking of military chiefs and more resources to fight Islamist militants. The BBC reports that gunfire was heard overnight near the presidential palace and at barracks in the capital, Ouagadougou. The government on Sunday denied suggestions of military coup or that the president was under arrest. There has been no communication from President Kabore himself since Sunday night when he posted to social media congratulating the national football team on their win against Nigeria in an African Cup of Nations match. President Kabore and other government ministers are detained at the military barracks in the capital by mutinying soldiers, according to media reports. On Sunday, hundreds of people came out in support of the soldiers, and some of them set fire to the ruling party's headquarters. A nighttime curfew has since been imposed by the government, with the Ministry of Education ordering the closure of schools for Monday and Tuesday. The unrest comes a week after 11 soldiers were arrested for allegedly plotting a coup. But discontent has been growing in Burkina Faso over the government's failure to defeat an Islamist insurgency in the country since 2015. That escalated to new highs in November when 53 people, mainly members of the security forces, were killed by suspected jihadists. And on Saturday, a banned rally to protest the government's perceived failure led to dozens of arrests. Similar troubles in neighboring Mali led to a military coup in May 2021 one that was broadly welcomed by the public. In Burkina Faso, mutinying soldiers made several demands, including the removal of the army chiefs of staff and the head of the intelligence service, more troops to be deployed to the front line, and better conditions for the wounded and soldiers' families. On Sunday, Defense Minister General Bafilemi Simpore downplayed previous rumors of the president's capture and the nature of the unrest at large. State television, meanwhile, had characterized the sound of the gunfire at military barracks as the actions of a few disgruntled soldiers rather than a widespread fight or coup attempt. In a statement issued by the ECOWAS Commission, the West African bloc ECOWAS on Sunday expressed support for the Burkinabe government and called on the military to respect the country's legitimate authority. Similar pleas in Guinea and Mali fell on deaf ears. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
Now, as the presidential election draws nearer in Senegal, on Sunday, Senegalese citizens went to the polls to elect new mayors and local representatives. In something of a political earthquake, Ousmane Sonko's Yewwi Askan Wi coalition members took over major towns. Zainab Hydra tells us more.
Over 6 million Senegalese, around a third of the population, are eligible to vote for mayors of more than 500 town halls as well as the head of 40 administrative areas. As this is the first election since Macky Sall's re-election and the first since violent riots last March, it was seen by many as a test of Macky Sall's popularity. It was also being studied as a test of the strength and popularity of various coalitions and political leaders. Yewwi Askan Wi, led by Ousmane Sonko, won the Ziguinchor mayoral seat and several of the majority seats in major towns against the President Macky Sall's candidates. The mayoral election results has shown that should Macky Sall seek re-election at the next presidential election, he faces being unseated. In these local elections, 7 candidates in Dakar, including his own health minister Abdoulaye Diouf Sarr, contesting for Sall's Benno Bokk Yakaar party, lost to Barthélémy Dias, a member of Yewwi Askan Wi. In Dakar, for example, Abdoulaye Diouf Sarr, Abdou Karim Fofana, Mame Mbaye Niang, Minister Chief of Staff to the President, Zahra Iyane Thiam, lost. So did other Macky Sall allies, such as Ababakar Siddique Bey and Moussa Sy, respectively Director General and PCA of the Autonomous Port of Dakar. In St. Louis, Sall's brother-in-law Mansour Faye won against the former minister Mary Teuw Njie. In Guédiawaye, on the outskirts of Dakar, Sall's younger brother Aliou Sall lost the mayoral election to Ahmed Haidara. Sunday's election results is a test for the government as Ousmane Sonko is seen as one of the main contenders for the 2024 presidential election. Looking into the March 2021 demonstrations that shook Senegal, speculation has been rife that President Macky Sall may consider running for a controversial third term, and he declined in an interview with France 24 to say if he considers himself eligible to extend his tenure when his current mandate expires in 2024. Having been in office since 2012, he secured 58% of the vote when he was re-elected in 2019. There has long been the probability that President Sall might reset the clock on his term of office. However, these results in the mayoral election may give him food for thought and may force him to change his mind. Last year, Ousmane Sonko was arrested following a rape accusation which he denied, and which sparked days of violence, protests and stoked fears that President Sall was interfering with the judiciary to target potential challenges. In his campaign rallies, Sonko said the change we want in 2024 presidential elections start on January 23, 2022, and he believes he has made a first step by winning these mayoral seats. For QTV News, I am Zainab Haidara.
And now on to some exciting sports news. Tunisia sent Nigeria home after their 1-0 win against the Super Eagles in Sunday's AFCON round of 16 match. The Carthage Eagles booked their ticket to the quarterfinals despite struggling in the group phase. Burkina Faso also eliminated Gabon on penalties in the earlier game. Our sports reporter Mamadou Gajaga has more.
A second-half substitute, Youssouf Sagni's goal was enough for Tunisia's Carthage Eagles to knock out the Super Eagles of Nigeria. 10 men Nigeria tried to fight back but lacked the intensity they displayed in the group stage. Tunisia contained Nigeria tactically by defending in numbers while hitting them on the counter. Moses Simon, who has been on fire for Nigeria with his explosive runs on the right, saw most of his runs cut out. Nigeria's dream of a comeback was shattered after Alex Iwobi was sent off in the 66th minute for a dangerous tackle less than 5 minutes after coming on. Three-time African champions Nigeria were fancied to go deep into the competition after impressing under interim coach Augustin Ogwavan against Egypt, Sudan and Guinea-Bissau. However, the Super Eagles didn't do enough against Tunisia to progress. Tunisia will now play Burkina Faso in the quarterfinals after the Stallions knocked out Gabon on penalties following a 1-1 draw in regulation and extra time. This game also saw one side, Gabon, having to play much of the match with 10 men after a sending off. However, it didn't seem to deter them as they had the greater possession and forced the game into extra time and penalties after grabbing an equalizer 3 minutes into the time added on and at the end of regulation time. Umudu Gajaga, QTV News.
And I'm afraid that's it for this edition, but do join us in the evening for more news. Until then, thanks for watching.